Bum, 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 bum. We should cheers before we start. Oh, I'm looking forward to Friday, bro.
Oh yeah, me too, man.
What is it called? Bismarck. After what are we calling it?
We didn't put a name on it. Let's be honest. We didn't put a name on it. We just kind of
Men's retreat.
exactly. Let's get to
2025.
I don't even like the term men's retreat.
Well, our women in allowed, so let's just call it that.
Can't say women aren't allowed. You're on camera. Already.
All right, welcome. We are Real Estate After Hours. Ernesto is excited. Ernesto's sharing with me about interest rates.
Jose
interest
says
rates.
boring.
Yeah.
Man, that's what the people want to hear.
And you bring up Trump and his gold card. I'll tell you this.
I think that's interesting.
I want Trump's $250 bill and the gold card in my
You
my
want
wallet.
the $250 bill?
Why not? That would be an instant classic. It's like a piece of art. It will go up in value
Sure.
if you get it the first year, minted in 2025.
Sure. And
You're a hater, bro. Anyways, with that said, Ernesto, what are we going to talk about today?
we're going to talk about rates. We're going to talk about interest rates because it is interesting what is happening with rates and why it's happening with rates. We're going to talk about that gold card that you're bringing up. Boring. And then we're going to talk about why being in real estate and loans is sometimes a hedge. In other words, when the economy goes south, sometimes being in real estate and loans winds up being a good thing.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. So, for the last 2 years, rates have hovered around 6.5 to 7.5. Is that fair? About 2 years
We
now?
got to 8% at one point.
Yeah, I agree. I have some clients that bought at that price point. Obviously, the good thing for them, they get to refinance right now. If they want to do a streamline, the rates have dropped a bit.
Yeah.
So, where are rates this week, right now? Where have they touched for an FHA traditional first-time home buyer loan?
Yeah, the FHA, and these are national averages, but the FHA is down around 6.1%, and the conventional rate is at 6.79%, which is the lowest I've seen them in at least 5 or 6 months.
All right, here's $1 million question, Mr. Ernesto.
Yeah.
You're a conservative dude, right? Like ultra conservative?
No.
What I'm saying is, with your finances, would you buy a house in 2025, March of 2025? Would you buy a house? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
You would.
Yeah.
See, I expected a no from you.
Why?
Maybe the conservative Ernesto that I know.
If you're always with this, it's not like I ever paint him as like a gunslinger, throw money at everything and see if he
I
makes
got
money.
no money. I literally have no money right now.
Anyways, so yes, I would buy either both as a owner occupant, in other words, buying my first home or a house that I'm going to live in, or if I was going to invest in property. It's actually easier to say yes on the investment side because if the investment pencils out, I really don't care what the interest rate is going to be. I obviously want to make the most profit I can, but if I'm making profit or if it sets up for, like you like to talk about, value adds, all that stuff, then great, make the investment. On the owner-occupied side, this is that moment right before, maybe if the rate trend downward continues, this is that moment for buyers where if they jump in now, they're going to beat that massive traffic that's going to come maybe this summer, maybe in the warmer months, and where a lot more people are out there competing with them for those homes.
What I'm seeing, obviously rates have trended down. I'm excited to see 6.2, 5.99 in some cases. You know, people buying down the rate.
Yeah.
I'm excited that some rentals will start to make sense again. You know, I'm always looking at stuff through the eyes or the lens of an investor. You know, rental income. Payments, revised payments. You know, once you refinance, but you know, a lot of stuff hasn't made sense at 7.5%, 8%. Even 7. It just doesn't make sense.
Which investors got pushed out of the market? Question, like, so if you're like the more novice investors who don't know how to find the other pieces of value in a property that will eventually lead to profit, have those people been pushed out?
No, I actually think that I think that a lot of the traditional savvy investor are looking for other forms, other areas. I mean, there's still a lot of buyers and flippers out there. I'm competing with a lot of the small, and I consider myself a small mom and pop shop type flipper. They're out there still trying to scoop up everything, but the margins are getting tighter.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is like the big hedge fund investors, they're not out buying everything with tight margins anymore. You know, I read a report yesterday where I forgot the company, OfferPad, I think. I mean, their numbers are down. They're laid off some staff, I believe, and
OfferPad. What'd you say?
OfferPad.
OfferPad. This is like
They buy properties, they fix them, and then
these are these people that are being blamed for buying blocks at a time and increasing rents, but never allowing good home
So,
ownership.
I mean, they do great advertising and marketing, and they buy properties before they hit the market, fix them, rehab them, and sell them. So
they're
again,
flippers.
yeah,
It's a flipping company.
yes,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. There's a lot of institutions like that, but a lot of them have scaled back. Margins are tight, rates are high. Um, you know, especially the ones that hold on to some of the rentals. So I think some savvy investors have held back. I have friends that haven't bought a property in 2 years,
Right.
right, to hold on to it. And truth be told, I'm one of them. In the last 2 years, I haven't bought a property that I bought to keep long term to hold as a rental until
6.8.
today. I closed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I closed on a rental
Salud.
in Covina. So we're celebrating to that. But yeah, so this one, I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. I got a decent deal. Let's say at 610, 620, something like that. My rehab is going to be $18,000.
Wow. In Covina?
Yes.
That's damn good.
But I'm, the kitchen cabinets are solid wood. I'm going to sand them down, new hardware. The countertops were fine, so I'm keeping that. New flooring. The whole house had original hardwood floors, so I'm keeping that, sanding them down and painting them, staining them. There's a few window repairs and 2 brand new bathrooms, and I'm going to rent it out. And here's the funny part. In that particular property, I started the ADU process, like the permit process. This was a long escrow. It was a probate, but like 3 months ago, I wrote the first check to my ADU.
Wow. To prepare plans.
to start on the plans and get started. Within about 45 days, this guy Charles had already got me to the city, ready to be approved with the city. He got as far in where they said, "Oh, we just need the grandee showing that this guy's the owner." I didn't have that.
Yeah, because it wasn't yours yet.
It wasn't mine yet, but I have that now. I just emailed it to him
Wow.
right before I came up here, and so he could finalize that and start building.
Super interesting.
So the goal there is to build an ADU in the back, make it a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 750 square feet, and 3-bed, 2-bath in the front.
So, but the reason that so we are now square, like dead into that patch of interest rates, where last year, I would say half a year ago, we started seeing more and more sellers jump out onto the market because rates were back in the 6s. And so if this rate trend holds for a good little bit, then fantastic. That's great for buyers, great for sellers. More sellers will put more property on the market. More buyers will come out. That means, more business for everybody. But more importantly, more people will be able to afford homes.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, I'm looking forward to the days that I could do a rate in term refi and have a 5 point whatever in my note.
We're a ways from that. We're still a ways from that. Well, hopefully.
Sure. Okay. So with that said, let's fast forward to April 1st this year. In about 35 days. What would the interest rates? What are the rates going to be April 1st, 2025? In your opinion, this is just a guess.
So if the rate,
don't sue him, bro.
If the rates hold and by April 1st, we might be at 6.5 on the conventional, probably like 5.75 ish on the FHA.
Okay, I'll take that. All right, let's fast forward to one of my favorite months, summer kickoff. I always have a summer kickoff party right before 4th of July. What are the rates going to be in July 4th, 2025? Your guess.
Are you trying to get me on the record so that you can point it later and say?
No, not at all.
Because you still owe me a steak dinner. I don't know if you realize that.
Hey, Ernesto, we just had kebabs outside. That was your steak dinner, pal.
No. Never mind. Hey, so where are rates going to be? Probably if the rate trend holds, FHA 5.5, and on the conventional 6 and call it 6.3, 6.2.
Here's conservative Ernesto again. Well, the economy's not doing so good. Is the economy doing great?
It's not that the economy's not doing great. It's that the perception is that the economy's not going to be doing great. Okay. And so that's affecting the economics of today.
I do believe inflation is I don't want to say here to stay, but it's going to be a battle for the government and to get that down. So I do believe, maybe I'm being too bullish on it, but I do believe, I think 5.3 to 5.5 FHA by July 4th, and I'm hoping 6.3 to 6.25 conventional rates.
So what I just said then.
I didn't even hear what you said, bro. But
exactly that. Pretty much exactly that is what I just said. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You were talking, and I was thinking about my own little.
I know. You were thinking about
head.
your cigar or something. I don't know.
Speaking of that, you wanted to talk a little bit about your favorite candidate, your president, Donald Trump.
Yes.
you were yapping about.
I was not yapping about this.
You-
You brought it up.
No,
I
you were
was talking
upset
something
about something about his gold card and that it's bad for business and the $250 bill, which I'm excited about.
I don't care about either, to be honest. It's neither one of them.
Why am I not surprised?
First of all, I did not bring it up. Jose brought that up, and I tried to pin it on me like it's something that I want to talk about. $5 million. Oh, so it's a gold card that if you're a rich person anywhere in the world, presumably anywhere in the world, if you want to pay, I guess the U.S. Treasury, $5 million, then you might be on a program that gives you every benefit that citizenship in the United States has.
Is that a good thing or bad thing for the USA?
It's
In your opinion, you serve in the military, so I care about your opinion.
it's
Mr. Ernesto.
incrementally a good thing. A small, like from the mind of if you're gonna sit back and look at it like if it's really gonna happen, which nobody knows if this is just another thing that Donald Trump is saying. But if it does happen, it'll be an improvement potentially because you're gonna get many people that'll come and pay $5 million. That'll presumably go to the Treasury. That'll help us out all on taxes. But it would take so many of them for that to make an actual difference. That number one, is it going to happen? And we don't know that yet. We don't know if that's an idea on paper or what. And number two, how many millionaires are going to take them up on it and pay the $5 million? Do they think it's worth it? I don't know. And there's too much unknown. As far as the $250 bill goes, that's like saying he's going to put up a new painting in the White House of his own face. I really don't care.
I'm excited to see if that gets created. Obviously, when was the last big change to American currency? I think when they went to the big face 20s and 100s, right? Recently, maybe in the last maybe 10 years.
When they changed out the bill?
Yeah,
I
that
guess.
was, that was probably the last big change. I'm excited to see if they create a $250 bill. I am. I don't know why. I will look forward to spending that.
I don't like why 250?
Because,
It just doesn't make
10 bills to carry a stack of 1,000 or 4
Anyway,
crispy
these are
brand new bills.
these are some of the first and very last thoughts I will have on this particular topic.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
Until he gets a new one in his wallet, he's going to be all
Sure,
excited.
whatever. I'll cash that one
Moving
too.
forward, I'm going to pay you in $250 bills. pal.
I'll take that like I would anything else.
All right. So your thoughts then? My thoughts actually on the gold card. Listen, I remember I went on vacation in Spain a couple of years ago, and I remember reading some of the articles on that summer while in Spain, and they were talking about their golden visa, right? Where if you spend I think it was 500 euros, or you could probably verify this on Google. If you spend 500,000 euros on property or starting a business in Spain, they will expedite you as far as getting a golden visa in Spain. And there was an article that I read there where a lot of rich Mexican nationals were buying property in Spain and making it unaffordable for the locals because they were picking up all the property in a certain area of Madrid, right? And the article stated why was that happening? Because they were, they felt safer there. The schools were safer for their children. They didn't need bodyguards like they did in certain cities in Mexico where they were from. So I kind of when I heard this yesterday or a couple of days ago about the golden visa for the U.S., I thought about that. I'm like, well, that makes sense. There's going to be some good people. I mean, $5 million is a lot of money. I'm sure not a lot of people can afford it, but you did some research.
Yeah.
What was your research? How many millionaires
There
there
are
in the U.S.?
70 million. No, in the U.S. I don't know, but in the world,
Oh, in the world.
there are 70 million millionaires in the world, which is a higher number than I thought, but apparently a lower number than what you thought.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't too impressed when you said 70 million people in the country in
In the world.
are millionaires.
It's a small fraction.
But when I asked you what percentage of people is that, and you did the math, let's say there's 350 million, 360 million.
Oh, in the U.S. You're talking about in the U.S. now.
Yeah.
So it's under 20% or just over 20% of the total population of the United States. But we're talking about a population of I don't know. I think it's 2 billion people in the world. 2 billion plus people in the world. That's a tiny fraction of 2 billion, obviously. But then, how many of those people are going to take Trump up on the $5 million offer?
Do you believe the U.S. is the best country in the world
to do what in?
to live and raise your family? Not states. Maybe I'm not talking about California. Just in general, as a country as a whole. Do you think this is still land of the free, home of the brave, land of opportunity?
Yes, to an extent.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to take that as a soft yes.
it is a soft yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are
By the way, there's amazing countries. I agree
beautiful.
with you.
There are countries out there that are number one happier than the population of the United States by a lot. We don't even rank in the top 10 anymore of happiness measured. There are countries out there where the individual citizen enjoys a higher standard of living. There are countries out there where people are living longer, fewer babies die at when they're born, more mothers also escape serious injury when going through birth. Things that really, if we want to consider ourselves to be tops, we really should be looking at why are these things. We spend a crap ton more money on a crappy healthcare system than a great chunk of countries out there who don't have the money that we have.
I agree with
So we should look at those things when we think about ourselves, whether we're on top or not. Is it still the land of opportunity? Hell yes. I don't think anybody should disagree with that, because if you have enough of what it takes and have enough access to the resources necessary, then you can open up some big doors here that are not easily available in other places. Yeah, for sure.
All right. So
long answer, but there it is.
Well, it's a long-winded answer. I heard what I wanted to hear. You still believe in the U.S. And you
I
think
do
it's a
believe
great
in the
country.
U.S. If I didn't believe in the U.S., I wouldn't still be a proud American, which I am.
All right. So with that said, you said 70 million. What percentage do you think of those 70 million millionaires in the world, right, are actually W-2 employees compared to a 1099 self-employed?
I know this answer.
Oh, you Googled it already.
Yes.
I asked a question that I knew you knew the answer.
He loves doing that to make me look good. I don't know if you've all seen that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Never.
Okay, so before I asked you the question, I thought the number was going to be about 95% of those 70 million millionaires across the world were going to be entrepreneurs / self-employed. What is the actual number?
It winds up being 88%.
Oh, wow.
88%
That's
of
still so high.
all the millionaires in the world are entrepreneurs, meaning
Self-made?
No, I don't like the term self-made. Nobody is self-made. But they themselves, they started their own businesses or maybe inherited a business.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree with
that's the way that most millionaires become that way or are that way. So it tells you a lot about the W-2 worker.
Okay. So you're saying what? That I'm actually impressed with the other 12%. I'm impressed about the 12%.
Well, when I think about millionaire W-2 earners, I'm thinking about highly paid doctors, because there are doctors out there that are making $500,000-$600,000 a year because they're very skilled surgeons or whatever. I have friends that I know what their income generally is, and even family level doctors are making very good money.
Sure. I'm thinking about the entrepreneurs, the guys that work with the CEOs and the bosses, and they pay their dues and they stick around with companies that are on the rise.
Sure.
And
by the way, it's not when I say nobody's self-made, it's not a knock on people who are entrepreneurs. It is difficult to be.
Sounded like that, bro.
Nah, it's just not. It's just I don't like the term when people say to me, "I did this because I did this." That's never true.
Yeah,
you could not get here. Literally speaking, you could not get to this building today without using resources I helped pay for. Right? Period. Stop. Whether it's the technology in your car, the road you drove in on, the signal lights, et cetera, the cops, all that stuff. All that things takes joint effort to create. And if you can't get to this building, you can't do a lot of your business. So we all contribute to that level of wealth. Period. Stop. So it's not a knock on somebody who's an entrepreneur, though. Entrepreneurs take on a different level of responsibility, which is, I think, why they are richer than most, or let's say the most millionaires are entrepreneurs. The reason that is a thing is because those people are willing to take risks and work harder than your average person out there, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with the first part of what you said. No, I don't agree with the first part of what you said.
Of what? You're self-made?
No, not at all. No, I'm talking about that. Of course, everybody, was taught a craft, learn from somebody. So, the self-made is a sexy. It's a great soundbite. It's a great
and I get
little
that.
title.
I get the feeling behind that.
But
like,
I
owning
do
that must feel
understand-
very powerful. It's just not true.
But I do believe that a driven entrepreneur, business owner, they're going to figure it out, and they're going to see a weakness or an opportunity in the marketplace.
Yeah.
And one way or another, through your road or off road, they're going to figure out that solution and solve that problem and get creative and make shit happen and create some money.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's wrap it up with this, Ernesto. Summer, obviously, real estate after hours.
I don't want to hear about what you're going to wear in the summer. We're talking about fashion
I'm
now.
trying to lose weight and I'm trying to travel this year.
If we're switching to fashion, we need to call this show something else.
By the way,
No, by the way. Ask me what you were going to ask. I really don't want to talk about fashion. It started as a joke, but I don't want to know that you're going to wear a tanga.
I was going to go pivot the conversation into investing. Let's wrap this up with investing in 2025. Okay. What advice do you give somebody that has a house? And this is going to be a great soundbite, but what advice, good or bad, would you give somebody that already has a house? Maybe they've owned it for, let's just say 3 to 5 years. So they bought in 2020 to this day forward, right?
Yeah.
And they're thinking about buying their second or a vacation home, a cabin, a beach house, a condo. What advice do you give that individual as far as how to get started?
Save your pennies, because the second homes, you used to be able to buy a second home with lower down payments, et cetera, et cetera. I'm talking about true vacation homes now. Ever since Airbnb came into play, that's no longer the case. So the down payments are on par with what your an investment home is going to be. So save your pennies, number one, because it's going to take a larger down payment. But number two, might be a good time to do it because you're going to start seeing values. If interest rates do continue to come down, you're going to start seeing values start creeping up a little bit faster.
All right. My advice is, I think my advice would be sit down with a real estate investor / realtor, sit down with your lender and carve out a plan, because you can buy your second home sometimes with as little as 5% down. Let me explain why. Maybe their first house that they bought 5 years ago, 3 years ago, is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, or it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, but it's 1,300 square feet.
Correct.
And the next deal that they find is a bigger home, maybe a better location or near their current home. They can technically buy that as owner-occ,
Sure.
move into it, rent out the current home. So with on those terms.
I apologize. I thought you were asking a different question. I thought you were asking like a true second vacation or investment property. You're talking about just my next house.
My next house.
Well, you can do 3.5% on a second.
Sure.
Home.
And I think that's the mindset. The mindset is stop overthinking it. Sit down with a real estate professional, a mortgage professional, and truly analyze your financials, your current maybe equity position, but more importantly, have somebody look at your credit, your income, because with that, a real solution can be created.
For sure.
Right? I'll share this. Let's wrap it up with this. This is on the investing front. For the first time ever, ever
in the history of man,
of Jose and Vanessa,
right.
me and my wife, I'm thinking about selling an investment house. I've never sold an investment house, one that I've had for a couple years.
1031.
Yep. So it's funny. As an old dinosaur, as us Asians like to say, I think Lily was saying that. As an old dinosaur in the business, I had to rethink the 1031 rule today. I'm like,
are you calling Lily a dinosaur?
No, she called herself a dinosaur.
Oh wow.
By the way, those that don't know, Lily's our escrow officer.
Oh wow. Now you've identified her. She's gonna hate you. But go ahead.
She's not a dinosaur. She said that she's been doing this for 20 years. I said I've been doing it 18 years.
She's been doing it for 20 years and she's 25 years old.
She looks young. Yeah. By the way, today's her birthday. That's why.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Lily.
Yeah, that's why I brought up Lily. Happy birthday. But my plan is to 1031. And quick question. Let's see if you know this answer. You have a single family rental, San Bernardino County. You run into, and you're going to sell it for $700,000 as a rental.
Yeah.
You find a great 3-unit piece of property. All 3 units are vacant. That you're going to sell your single family house, but these 3 units are selling for $450,000. Can you do that on a 1031 exchange?
You can do it, but then you're going to be taxed on whatever you have left over.
There we go.
Or you can buy 2 different properties, and as long as they're like kind properties, you can waive the capital gains tax.
So I called my real estate professional, Marcus Jaquez, and he says, Jose, it's got to be value per value, I think is what he said. I might be misquoting him, but if I sell for 700, the next property has to be my purchase price has to be 700 or more.
Right. Or
Which
you're
it-
going to be taxed on the difference.
Correct.
So you can do it, just to be clear. You will be protected on the 400, I think you said 400,000. You will be protected on that. But the remainder is not going to be protected from
There's capital gains, and the whole
You'll have to
purpose of
pay
being an
taxes.
investor is not to spend money, waste money, right? Paying the capital gains if you could avoid it. So yeah, so that property may not work, but I'm out there looking. I had a Zoom call with about I think it was 30 of our agents,
Yeah.
and I said, hey, you guys want a free buyer, free lead?
That's what that was about.
Yeah. So they were all excited. I hope they find some income property and we could do a trade. So
Excellent. Jose, explain to everybody who doesn't know yet, what is a 1031 exchange?
yeah, so a 1031 exchange is basically the only way where an investor that holds an investment property, it must be an investment property, reported on your income, on your taxes that you have, where you're allowed to sell it, take all the gains, all the money. Your equity went up, let's say 300,000 from the moment you bought it. You're able to take that 300,000 and trade it on your replacement house. You cannot keep $1 of it, or else you get taxed. You can't, hey, can I keep 50 grand? I mean, I guess you can, but you're going to pay capital gains on any monies, right?
That's correct.
But to make a successful 1031 exchange, you have to take all the proceeds from the sale, your investment, and you have to trade it within a certain very tight time frame. It's like they give you 6 months to close on the replacement house, but you have to identify the houses. Like within 45 days of closing your sale, you have 45 days to identify addresses that you're going to buy, and you must buy one of those 3, or else you don't you can't do the trade. So it's a great way to avoid paying capital gains on your properties. And investors and corporations have been doing this for longer than I've been alive, right? For a long time.
Yeah.
IRS code, I think 1031.
I've helped plenty of buyers work on their 1031 exchanges. Once you have it set up, it's the easiest process in the world. You barely even notice that it's there, other than the money has to go through it.
Yeah. So the process is just you have a time frame, very tight guidelines. You have to buy dollar per dollar for whatever you sell. It's got to be that amount or bigger. And there's literally 2 escrow companies: the current escrow and the exchange escrow, where the money gets sent once the first sale closes to kind of do the proper paperwork, legwork, and transfer the exchange money. So great process. If you're an investor and don't want to pay capital gains, it's the best way to do it. And I'm going to do my first one after 18, almost 17 years in the industry. So
Excellent.
I'm excited.
Good job.
My first one personally, I've done for clients.
Yeah,
My first one
understood.
personally. Yeah. So friends, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Gold card Ernesto.
I was born here, so I don't need it.
$250 bill. Jose Mares, can't wait to get that. With that said, guys, tune in next week, and thank you for watching. Gold card Ernesto.
What the fuck?
All right. You know what I realized? I don't think my chairs were lined up with you. I felt like, are they? I felt like.